Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 091 OBS Chevrolet, and I've got some problems on the inside, and I'm fixing to get it loaded up and put in the garage, and I'm going to meet you up there and I'll show you what's going on. Alright, the problem we have is this steering column is loose, and it's some bolts down in here, way deep down in here. You have to take all of this apart to get to those bolts, and you have to have some special tools in order to do that. So we're going to be taking all this apart today and tightening those bolts up to stop this. It has at this point affected the high beam. The switch no longer works correctly, and we're going to be trying to see if we can get that rod lined back up down in there today. There's a couple of special tools that you'll need. This is one of them. This is a pivot pin puller. I got this on Amazon. I will leave the link to all these down in the description below. And this compresses a piece on the steering wheel so you can get a snap ring out. And we're going to be using these two pieces of equipment today in order to get the steering wheel taken all the way apart so we can get down deep enough to tighten those loose bolts. And of course, on top of this, you will need your regular steering wheel puller, which I already have, but these are the two pieces that I had to order that I did not have. Alright, I got my socket. It's not the right size, it's just the first one my boy got that will work. I think this is a 22. It's actually a little bit smaller. And just like that. It's down in here that you can't get to, and that's when you use this piece right here. And I'm going to thread it on now, and I'm going to compress that and get that snap ring out. Okay, so now I can get to that snap ring. Alright, I got that off. I'm ready to take my puller back off now. Take this plate off. It comes off like that. I know I'll have to take this hazard switch out. Maybe catch these screws. One more. Alright. Now I got some big torques to get out, and then a smaller one to remove this key cylinder right here. Alright, I gotta remove these three big Torx bolts right here. I'm gonna do that right now. I've already got this first one loose. Sorry for the lighting, I got the light behind me, and every time I put my hands up here it creates a shadow. Okay, that comes out. That's what that bolt looks like. Now this should come out. Like I said, if you're replacing that, you'd have to do everything we've done so far in order to get down to it. Alright, let's see what we got here. I think some of this is ready to come off. Okay, I needed to get some more slack, so far I've unclipped that. I gotta pop this right here out of the frame that it's mounted in. And now, when I pull this piece, I've got plenty slack up here. And now this piece should be able to come off. There goes that piece that's problematic. Alright, I'm going to try to do this with a flathead screwdriver. This is the spring that causes your tilt column to pop into position. So it should be pretty heavy. And that's how you get that out. The pivot pins are these pieces right here. And that's what I have that other special tool for. There's one on this side, and there's one over here on this other side. You can see right there. So in order to do that, I'm going to take this lever off. Hold this right here, Seth. Alright, here's my pivot pin removal tool. Thread this screw down in the pivot pin. Okay, I got my pivot pin removal tool inserted and bolted in, and all I gotta do now is twist on the nut, and it should pull the pin out. I'm hoping anyway. So there's that one, and I've got to do the same thing to the other side. Alright, from what I understand about this can be a little problematic, getting this piece off. Everyone I've seen do it actually puts this handle back in. I believe you have to tilt the column and pull on this until you can get it to break loose, and this is probably fixing to be a mess because I'm not exactly sure how to do it. Actually, it wasn't a big deal at all, but so you got some bearing races and stuff coming out right here. Film right here, so put the light on it so I can see. And just make sure you don't lose any of that. Taking it off the way that it goes back on. And now this should back up just a little bit. Should come out. This piece right here, okay, it goes like that. These are the bolts that's loose, and there's 4 of them, 2 under the bottom, 2 on top, and you can watch right here. You can see them where they're not tight. I don't know if you can see that. It's not as loose as some I've seen, but that's where all my slack is at, and I'm fixing to get those tight. I got to find me I think they said it was an E8, and I don't have one, so I'm going to see what I can make do with. So I found a socket that seems to work. It's a 12.1/4 inch, and so that right there works. So, but before I do this, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put some Loctite on them one at a time, so I won't ever have to do this again. Alright, I got my blue Loctite on my boat. I'm fixing to go back in with them one at a time. Yeah, every one of these was definitely loose. Alright, I got all those back in, tightened up, and just so you know, a 12-point, 1/4 inch socket fit those perfect without any slippage, and I torqued them down, tightened them real good. So now it's time for me to start going back together. I had a problem. My ball bearings fell out of my lower race that goes into this part, and I'm going to pack those with grease so that they won't fall out anymore and put them back in, and go from there. Okay, I've got it back together this far. I'm ready to start pushing my pivot pins back in, and this piece right here, this aluminum piece or pot metal, whatever it is, it has to do with your ignition. It actually goes over a little prong or something down in here, and I have to admit it's a little bit aggravating to get that back. So what I did is I put it down in here over the prong and held it with my thumb, and then you have to get this plastic piece. See, this plastic piece has got a knob. It'll go in the very end of this. It's shaped just the same size as this little knob looking thing right here, and when you roll your ignition over, it will run down these teeth right here, and it'll start your truck. So anyway, that was a little bit aggravating. I didn't film it just because I was having trouble. I was having to figure it out as I went, and at this point I'm not going to take it back apart to show you how I done it. I'm sorry, but I was just proud when I actually got it put back together. So now I'm going to tap these back in. I gotta go get me a mallet and or a hammer. I'm going to bump them back in, and we'll go from here. These lined up. This piece right here, it's got a recess here that's made to go over this rod, and then this piece goes in there like that right there, and it presses against the rod. So anyway, I'm going to do that now, and this is kind of also aggravating to get it done. That's what triggers your high and low beam. Alright, we got all the turn signal and all that stuff back in there. Now it's time to put this little clip back on. Alright, make sure you get ready to put your clip back on, put it on first, and then put your tool on. That was amazingly aggravating. Alright, and then this wire goes down into a horn hole. You ain't gonna be able to see it, but it's got to be all the way down in there. I got everything back together. Horn working. Okay, steering wheel's tight. I mean, don't move. Pretty big job. can you do it? Yes. You need to be a little bit mechanically inclined, because I had to stop and look at some stuff, and I had to review the video to see how some stuff goes back together. And so yeah, it was a pretty good job. Wasn't really harder than I thought it would be, because I watched some videos on it and knew that it was going to be pretty tough. Everything's working good. Got all my, everything is back as it should be. Okay, I need to check my high beams. So they was not working. Alright, that's working too now. Well guys, that's a job I've been needing to do ever since we bought this truck. I say we, my son bought it, but I'm the guy that works on it for him. It was a pretty big job, but it wasn't nothing we couldn't do, and if you set your mind to it, you can do it too. I do recommend strongly getting the correct tools for the job. This job is aggravating enough as it is trying to work without the correct tools. If you're watching and you made it this far, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Leave all your comments down below. I have links in the description to the products that I use. I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.